Hey everyone, this is Sarah from Black Note Transcriptions and welcome back to our channel. Today we're talking about the 9 exercises you can use to train your ears. So why are your ears important? Having great ear training skills will help with your tone, your blend, your balance, your intonation, your musicality, your expression, and your listening skills, and so much more. If you have really strong ear training skills, you will be an unstoppable musician. Ear training is not just for vocalists, it's something that every single musician needs to practice. And no matter how great of a musician you are or how long you've been playing or singing, there's always room to grow. Tip number 1, sing before you play. This tip is more for instrumentalists. Singers, you're already singing all the time, so you can skip this one. But instrumentalists, you need to be singing your music. If you were to look at a piece of music that you've been practicing a lot, a piece of music that you know, could you sing it? Now, I'm not expecting you to have a fantastic voice or to be able to hit every single note, and you might even have to sing it in a different octave, but could you match the pitches? Could you sing that music? Do you have that music internalized within you enough to the point where you could vocalize it? If not, then you are not really using your ears while you play. Many musicians read music by seeing music on the page and responding only with a physical cue. That physical cue being the keys that they press or the slide position that they're in or where they put their fingers. However, some musicians respond not only physically when they read music, but they respond aurally as well, which means that when they see the note on the page, they hear it in their head while they're pushing down the keys, putting their finger, moving their slide. Those musicians generally have much stronger ears because, in a sense, they are kind of sight-singing their music while they're playing. So, if you take away your instrument and you find that you really can't sing your music at all, even if you have a terrible voice, if you can't match the pitches, that means that you're not really using your ears. So, start singing your music, start holding yourself accountable to that standard, and you will see a lot of improvement. Tip number 2. Sing chromatic scales. This applies to everyone, vocalists and instrumentalists alike. Make sure that you are singing chromatic scales every single day. Around the Western chromatic scale, I understand that there are so many musical cultures and scales and ways of hearing music that I don't understand, but this tip is about the Western chromatic scale. So I want you to find a really comfortable octave within your singing range. So make sure you're not straining yourself too high or really pushing yourself too low, especially if you're a beginner singer and you don't quite know your voice yet. So you're going to start at the bottom of that octave, and I want you to very carefully sing every half step until you get to that same note but an octave higher. And then go back down. If you're brand new to this sound and it's kind of freaking out your ears and your voice, that's okay. Use a piano while you're singing it so that you can follow along with the pitch. If you're a little bit more comfortable, try doing it without the help of a piano, but I want you to keep a drone going. So whatever your bass note is that you sing, whatever the first note is, I want you to hold that note on the piano. And I want you to sing all of those half steps going up and down against that drone. This can be a very tricky exercise, and it can also be very beneficial for your ears. Tip number 3, interval exercises. There are thousands of interval exercises that you can use. Now you can use these both with your voice or with your instrument. If you're an instrumentalist, I recommend singing and playing interval exercises. So many warm-ups are based around different kinds of interval exercises, so chances are you're already doing a ton of different interval exercises in your daily routine. However, it can be great practice to test yourself on these intervals as much as possible. A game that I like to play by myself and with my students is just to practice singing intervals. So I will sit at the piano and I will pick just a random interval, let's say major sixth. So I will say, okay, whatever note I play, sing a major sixth above. And I will just pick a random note on the piano. I play that note, everybody sings a major sixth. I immediately go to a totally different note and they have to find that new major sixth as quickly as possible. This is a great game to play with yourself as well, because it really helps you quickly shift gears and switch tonalities if you're always hearing a new root tone and you have to pick a new interval on top of that tone. Tip number 4, perform in an ensemble. If you're a musician, and especially if you are a student musician, chances are you are already in an ensemble, if not 5 or 10 ensembles. If you are not yet in an ensemble, find one to join. Your town might have a community choir or a community band that you could join. If you have a church that you belong to, you can maybe join their musical groups. Performing in ensembles is a great way to boost your skills. Imagine this, if you're always just performing at home, making YouTube videos, or just singing in the shower, singing in the car, you don't get the chance to interact and to really hear yourself compared to other musicians. Now, it's not a competition, but when you're in an ensemble, you have the chance to really hear everything that's going on around you and fit into that sound. When you're in an ensemble, your blend, your balance, your intonation, your sensitivity is so important. When you're new to an ensemble, you might find that you don't really seem to fit in. You might stick out. Maybe you're singing way too loud, or your trumpet tone just doesn't really fit. That's okay. It takes time to really find your place and for your ears to grow, to be sensitive enough to be able to fit into an ensemble. If you're an instrumentalist and you've always only ever been in bands and orchestras and instrumental groups, find a choir that you can join. You don't have to be the best singer ever to be in a choir. Choirs are amazing places to practice your blend and your balance and your intonation skills, because when you're in a choir, every single person is using their voice and finding a way to create one unified sound, and it's a really beautiful thing, and it can help your ears so much. Tip number 5, start playing by ear. I used to do this when I was about 12. My mom would be teaching piano in our living room, so I would be sitting in her bedroom playing my trumpet with a silent brass mute in the bell. And I would turn on my iPod and I would just play along to whatever song came up. Now at first, I didn't match a single note probably, but as time went on, I got better and better, and I was able to play along with whatever came my way. After I felt confident playing the melodies of all these pop and rock songs, I started just making up funky bass lines, or I started harmonizing with the melody, or making up little horn hits to make the song more fun. Whatever you need to do, whatever you can do, just do it. The more you play by ear, the more confident you will be with your instrument, and you will find so many skills that you didn't realize were even possible on your instrument. You will start to develop relative pitch, if not perfect pitch, and you will find that your strength in transcribing and sight reading are skyrocketing. Tip number 6, change the pitch of your audio recordings. This is one of my favorite things to do. So, take an audio recording that you listen to all the time. It's important that you know this audio recording well. It's really ingrained in your heart, in your mind. Maybe it's your favorite song of all time. You could sing it in your sleep, you know all the parts. Pick one of those songs. There are many tools out there that allow you to change the pitch of your audio without changing the speed. The one that I use is called the Online Tone Generator. It's totally free, and it's just a web page. So I go to the Online Tone Generator, I upload an MP3 of my favorite audio recording, and then I change the pitch by a certain percentage, either higher or lower. Now, I advise against changing the pitch of your music just to a strict half step in either direction, because if you're from a Western music culture, you're so used to hearing music in all these different half steps. You know what an E flat sounds like, you know what a G sounds like, you know what a B sounds like. You may not realize it, but these pitches are deeply ingrained within you from all the music that you hear every day. So take your music and shift it to be in between two notes. Like, you know what G sounds like, you know what G sharp sounds like. What's in the middle? Now, if you just heard a single note and it didn't quite fit into all these half steps, you might not realize it's out of tune. But if you listen to a whole piece of music in this new key that's somewhere between G and G sharp, it will open up your ears and you might just feel like, wow, this is crazy. It's like this whole other color palette of music. In between the 12 tones that we have decided are our 12 tones, there are an infinite number of pitches and of keys that we can use. So if you start transposing your music just to be in a slightly different key, your ears will open up so much. Now, if you're on a mission to learn relative pitch or perfect pitch, this exercise might confuse you because you're going to start realizing that there's so much more out there than the 12 pitches. But it's still a great practice to open up your ears and just to create more sensitivity to what's out there. Tip number 7, practice sight reading. If you practice sight reading every single day, your ears will improve. That's all there is to say. Tip number 8, transcribe every day. Practice transcribing every single day. This is so important for your musicianship, and it really, really strengthens your ears. If you're not sure how to get started with transcribing, please check out our video, the top 10 transcribing tips, and that will really help you to get started as a beginner. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us know in the comments below if you have any ear training tips or suggestions or exercises that we could all be using. If you haven't yet already, please subscribe to our channel and you can click the little bell to receive notifications anytime we post a new video. If you want to receive more content or if you want to check out our premium services, you can visit us at blacknotetranscriptions.com.